What is up, guys? It's Mr. Jones. Today we're going to tone it down just a hair. We've been learning a lot about how to manipulate equations back and forth, and it seems to be confusing a bunch of people. So we're going to slow it down just a hair and also get into some integrated math 1 stuff at the same time. So on the screen, you should see what looks very very similar. Actually, it's going to look exactly like your assignment that you're being asked to do. So I'm just going to kind of go over each section with you really quick and just show what's expected. This should be a pretty simple task for most of you, so you should be able to do it fairly quickly, but I want to make sure that everyone knows what the heck they're supposed to do. So let's go blue. On this top section, this just gives an example, shows you how to do some stuff. This negative 21 is wrong. It should say negative 19 because everywhere else it says negative 19. So if you do look at this example, just toss a negative 19 up there and then it should make more sense. But basically it's saying identify which of the 3 possible numbers is the solution to the equation. So you can do this one of 2 ways, especially since we've already learned how to do this. You can take this equation right here and you can just solve for x, or you can take each value here and plug it in for x and see which one gives you the correct answer. So for example, you could either stop right now and you're like, cool, I can solve for x real quick. So you should know how to solve for x, but if you don't, then go ahead and plug in. So this is just trying to get you to realize that the solution is the variable, the value of the variable that makes it true. So whichever one of these x values makes the equation equal on both sides, you know it got right. So whatever value you plug in for x here, and you solve this using PEMDAS, you would want to get it to equal 13. That's going to be the correct answer. So for all of these, that's what you do. They get a little bit more difficult, but don't forget the 4 steps I gave you. Get rid of parentheses. Combine like terms is going to be a big one. And then you can just solve for the variable. You don't have to plug in, but you can plug in. On this next section, it says some equations have 2 variables. So now they're giving you equations that all should look kind of familiar. But if they don't, we're going to get into them. And it says you can let x equal a number and then try and figure out what y is going to be. So this one you have to plug in. Okay, it's basically giving you an equation and then it gives you these ordered pairs over here. There's 3 of them. So x is 8 on this one. And it's saying, hey, plug in 8 for x and then see what y equals. So let's go ahead and just solve that one. Y equals, and then we're going to plug in 8 instead of x for this equation right here. We're doing this equation, right? I'm going to get rid of that because it's ugly. Minus 15. So you go ahead and just use PEMDAS, multiply first. 6 times 8 is 48. And then minus 15 is 33. So that means that if you get 33, y equals 33 when x equals 8. So basically your answer there is 8 comma 33, and you would technically write it there. So you're going to have an answer there, an answer here, and an answer here. So all 4 of these problems have 3 answers apiece. All right, the next section you're going to run into looks like this, right? And it basically just says fill in the table. So you have to make a table of your own. That's what I want to see on your paper. And then write a sentence or 2 explaining how you figured out the values to put in each cell. And a cell is just talking about the blank boxes. So basically you're just going to start filling it out. So you run a business making birdhouses. You spend $600 to start your business, and it costs you $5 to make each birdhouse. Okay, let's go ahead and pause the video here and try that one. How would you fill out the rest of the table? And then what would you put as your explanation? Go ahead and pause, and then we'll come back and actually talk about this one. All right, hopefully you actually pause the video, because whenever you do it on your own and then you see your mistakes, that's actually how you learn the most. But I'm going to go over this one with you so we can make sure that we're doing it right. So you run a business making birdhouses. You spend $600 to start the business, and it costs you $5 to make each birdhouse. So the number of birdhouses is on top. That's going to be my X's, and then my Y's will be the total cost to build. So how much did it cost me to build one birdhouse? If you put a $5 there, you are incorrect, unfortunately, because it cost you $600 just to start the business. So the number it wants you to put here is 605. Okay? From there, you can realize that you are just adding after you only have to start your business one time, right? Let's go ahead and make this orange. Okay. So you only have to start your business one time, and after that, every single time, you're adding only $5. So now you can put 610, 615, and I'm sure you can figure out how to add 5, right? Okay, so for your explanation, what would you put? Okay, it says write an explanation of how you figured out the values to put in each cell. Well, I started off with 605 because that was the cost of one birdhouse plus the business starting fee. And then I just added $5 every time. That's what your explanation should basically say. So it's like I had to do this because of this kind of thing. Okay, so there's the first one done for you. I think you guys can figure out how to do the rest. But let's talk about some words really quick. Deposit means that you put it into the account. You deposit $10 into a savings account. That means you put that money into the account. Okay. Let's see if there's any more on here. I think you're good. I think the rest of this is pretty easy to understand. This one right here, you're making a $15 payment on a loan. And then it wants to know how much money you owe. So if you're paying on a loan, think about what that means in regards to the remaining amount that you would owe. If you owe me $500 and you pay me $15, does the amount of money you owe go up or down? So think about that. All right, the next section looks like this. This is not all the problems, but this is a couple of them. So this one should be very simple, guys. All you have to do is graph the ordered pairs from the table. So this hopefully won't take you more than a couple minutes, but you have to actually draw them. This is the okay place to use your comp book because there should be graph paper there. But label these so we know what's going on. That's kind of what I want you guys to practice. So 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up. So I know that you're counting by ones, and then just go ahead and go 0, 3, 2, 7. So 4, 5, 6, 7. So right there. And then you should have dots going all the way up. So that's how you do the assignment, guys. Let us know if you have any further questions.